on the phone with me right now, Miles from Rings of Saturn. Miles, thanks for calling today.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all. Now, we'll quickly go back. You've been in the band since what, 2014?
Yeah, end of 2014. Yeah.
Yeah. How did it come to pass that you joined the band? What was going on there?
Well, Aaron and I met each other on Craigslist when we were 15, and I don't know if they have that in Australia, but it's basically a classified ad. You put an ad up. I've got a dog for sale. I've got a couch for sale. I'm looking for a guitar player, whatever, And we met on there. And so we were in a band for a couple of years doing our own thing, and then we started our other band, Interloper. And then after that, after working together for several years, he ended up joining Rings. So it's like we've been working together for years. He joins Rings, and I met Lucas with Aaron as well, like a year or two before he joined Rings. So we kind of all knew each other. Aaron and I were real close, and then Luke knew us. So their drummer quit, Aaron joins. A year later, Joel quit. So, like a natural, progression of that would be for me to join. And that was kind of how that worked. It was just a big circle of who you know.
Yeah. Okay. So it wouldn't have taken you very long to settle in anyway, because you were already sort of in the
Yeah,
mix, if you
Aaron and
like.
I, we already kind of knew each other. So,
Okay. So you came in just after the third album came out, Lugal, but
correct.
none of that album had been played live before at that stage. Am I correct?
That is correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird situation.
Oh, yeah.
So did you go out on tour with them at all then at that stage?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I joined the band and then we didn't tour for like almost a year, So I just spent time working on the songs and learning stuff, and then we did an Interloper Rings collab, which was just kind of like a writing thing we did to put something out, and yeah, that was about it. So I just spent my time building up social media, doing videos, because the typical stuff that comes with being in this band is you can't play it or you suck or whatever. So anytime someone would say that, I'd just put a video up of me playing the thing they said I couldn't. So that was pretty much the first year of me being in the band, and then we went on tour, and sure enough, played the stuff. So
Right. So in that time, you've recorded a new album, which is Altu Ula. Is that how we're going to be pronouncing it?
that is just fine.
Excellent, which I'm told translates as Time Immemorial. Now that's being released on July 28th. Now tell us all about this songwriting credits. Who's writing all this awesome stuff?
I did a good chunk of the writing on this one. I would definitely say over the halfway point. Um, Everything obviously ends up going through Lucas, being that he, founded the band and stuff, and that's, how you would expect it to go, so that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, but when I started writing this, there's actually some stuff I already had written, and I think same thing with Lucas, for example, Unhallowed, the short instrumental. That was something I wrote in high school and
Okay.
had never used for anything. So we already had some stuff kind of lingering around. But we got home from tour. We were gone for 2.5 months, and then I left for Vegas 5 days after that. So I removed myself from my home and put myself in a different environment. And by the 2 weeks I had spent there, I had already written over half the album. And that was, like a freak occurrence to me, because that was borderline almost more than I've written in my entire life. So I don't know exactly what it was, if it was the pressure of a deadline or if it was, maybe just the different environment, the cliche that people say about removing yourself and getting inspiration from, a city or a location or something.
Yeah.
So that was what happened with that. So got over the halfway point with that, and then Luke started writing, I believe, a week after I got back from Vegas, and then we started kind of tossing ideas back and forth. That was where more of the collaboration efforts started,
Hmm.
and he did a couple things exclusively by himself. I did, a lot by myself, and then we did some stuff together when he had a part that wasn't finished, or the opposite. I had a part that wasn't finished. So that was pretty much the writing process, and then we kind of went over at the end like arrangements, like and not like musical arrangements, but structural arrangements. Um, yeah, that was the process, man. Very individualized from each other, but kind of coming together at the end to solidify everything.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on in a Rings of Saturn song.
Yeah, I think it seems like there's more than there actually is. Is the secret. Taken adequate, it's like, dude, you're seriously looking at like four chords and two, basically two most of the time. That song's all based off of A minor, G sharp major, F major, E major. That's literally it, dude. That whole song is like the same chords. It just doesn't seem that way, you know. But there are other songs, where we do have a lot of crazy shit. But then it's, that's kind of the stylistic thing, and that's where the big diversity and dynamic in this album comes, is where we meet, the typical Ring sound with, my style, which is a lot more tonal and, smooth and, very, very much melody and harmony oriented. Just sounding like big and epic is kind of like my thing. So yeah, I think that's where we ended up getting a real cool blend of that. And I think it's gonna make the old fans happy as well as the new ones. Like, new people are gonna like this band who didn't before. It's very good.
Okay, now it's coming out on Nuclear Blast. So how are you settling in with them?
Oh, great. We've been with them for a year now, man. A lot of this stuff, behind the scenes, you're not familiar with a lot of it. We signed with them a year, and there's just a lot of stuff that goes on that, builds up to this. Like I was saying, a year ago, literally, like right now, I was in Vegas writing for this record. So this has been a long time coming, and working with them throughout this past year, they've been nothing but awesome. All the people there are great. Owner's great. People we shoot music videos with, our PR. I mean, everyone. It's been great.
What happens now for Rings of Saturn? We've got the album coming out soon. What's happening? You going out on tour? Where are you going?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Yeah, we're going to be out on tour. I leave in 4 days, actually. Flying into Austin, going to Lucas's house. We're going to get stuff together, and then we start the tour. We have a couple routing dates to Summer Slaughter, which starts on the 27th. And then we're out for a month, I believe. Yeah, about a month or 1 day short of a month doing that. And then we're supposed to have a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Hopefully making our way over to Australia. I would love to play there. Like, I would really, really like to play in Australia. So, hopefully getting there soon in Europe. And yeah, there's a lot of tentative stuff. We've got Ozfest coming up here in the States. So,
okay.
Yeah, those are the two confirmed things. But there's a lot of stuff in the works.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, touching back on the songwriting, it was interesting because the way I made it, it was kind of weird how I said that. Yeah, like we all did a lot on it. And it's like, regardless of getting, this amount done first or that amount done first or who did what, it was, the bigger picture is the final product. And regardless of like, if I did, over half in 2 weeks or, like whatever, who gives a shit? We're looking at like, what's the end product here? We're looking at, how is this going to help the band, and how is this going to, push the band forward? And like I said, it is a dynamic album, and I think it's just like someone said in a YouTube comment, man, it's Rings in accessible form. We've kept the sound, the classic sound Lucas coined and, made into his own, and did a, really good job of, branding, and, meshing that with things that are going to open up opportunities for us to tour with other bands. It's going to kind of push us out of the niche, we might be in, is how I feel. I think we're going to get a lot more, fans, keep old fans as well, and, getting on bigger tours and hopefully just pushing the band forward because, from a listener's perspective, do you feel this is a more, listenable album as a whole? It's not so, like, intense.
I absolutely agree. Keep the existing fans happy, but just sort of push the boundaries a bit more, so that's good.
Yeah, that's what bands want to do every time, and I'm proud and think that this definitely did happen. Because I had been listening to the band since probably Dingier, so I've seen the progression, and now being a part of it, I think it's going in a good direction. So, yeah.
Excellent. And excellent cover artwork as usual, so that's good.
Oh, yeah, Mark Cooper does a great job every time.
Right. New album for Rings of Saturn, Utu Ula, coming out July 28th on Nuclear Blast, fourth album, excellent. We are looking forward to it. Miles, thanks for catching up with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.